Welcome back. Week 10. We did not have an episode last week, but it's fine because we already made our picks. And, we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. Nicholas, what's up, buddy?
Hello.
Well, I mean, can you look at the screen and tell me what happened there?
Bad week.
Certainly is.
Yeah, I agree.
What happened?
Bad week.
All
You're not
right.
going to
Well,
go into any detail about it.
Off week.
I feel like it's more than an off week, to be honest. I mean, it's just I think it's a problem. What was the issue? Any change to your picking behavior?
Not sure.
What's up with all these very quiet, quaint, small responses?
I'm sure if the numbers were flipped around, you would have been like, "Oh, I'm a saint. Oh my god, you guys should have really paid attention to me." Ugh. All right.
Do you give credit where it's due? This is Kirby's
since-
first actually good week.
Wait, what?
Last week was your first actual good week, as far back as I can remember.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I set a record with the win-loss. I mean, I did fantastic. It wasn't a hard week to pick the win-loss, but All right, we'll go ahead and jump into it since Nicholas doesn't want to play around with anything. He just wants to get into the business of going 3-11 against the spread.
All right, looks very serious.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't even cracked a smile. All right, Indianapolis at Tennessee. Tennessee favored by 2 is our Thursday night game. Indianapolis, Philip Rivers didn't look great last week, and then Tennessee, they did what they did against Chicago. Nicholas, Riley, what do you guys think?
Nicholas, you want to go ahead and start?
Sure. I'll take Tennessee to win and cover here.
Is that it?
I've said before, I don't think the Colts are that real of a team. They struggled pretty greatly against the Ravens, and I don't think the Titans are a legit contender either, but I think they're better than the Colts.
Yeah, I think Tennessee's definitely going to cover here. There's not a whole lot to talk about. Yeah, Tennessee's kind of disappointing with some of the losses recently, but the Colts, they're a pretender. They're not real. Philip Rivers, horrible. If I was Indianapolis, I might go to Jacoby Brissett here. He's been kind of like that bad. Maybe I shouldn't say maybe because it's obviously not going to happen, but might start looking at Jacob Eason, maybe quarterback of the future from now on.
Whoa.
I'm not saying for him to start.
Let him get some NFL reps first.
We'll see.
Right. I would at least want to see him in preseason or something. I mean, do we have any record on or do you guys remember any time that Philip Rivers has played in prime time? Because I don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly. This is gonna feel really weird because he's been stuck out in San Diego where they always play at 4:00. So no matter what, just because they don't have a big enough market, I think Philip Rivers. He always does well when the chips are down. I think I'm gonna roll with Indianapolis +2 and a win. This is just a feeling pick. I mean, if I were to make by just football stuff, it would be Tennessee because this is whenever Derrick Henry is officially the back half of the season. So this is technically whenever Derrick Henry should start to get rolling, even more than he did in the first half. So I don't know. That's what I'm going with. Next, the Washington football team at Detroit. Detroit favored by 4. So Alex Smith is, I think he's going to be starting. I don't think they'll go back to Dwayne Haskins.
They should.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
I mean, they should because he's awful.
But
Alex Smith is atrocious, and I mean, I'll take Detroit here. Stafford looked really bad last week, and I think it's mostly just because he wasn't able to sit in on meetings or anything. They brought that up like he had just gotten cleared that Sunday morning. So I'll go with Detroit for a solid little bounce back game and just handle Washington. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and roll with Detroit here as well. I think if you lose the Giants, you're probably going to struggle in the next game because of just like loss of morale and stuff. So I think Stafford's going to definitely have a bounce back game, kind of like you mentioned that, he wasn't cleared to the very last second. It's not like there's that big of a declining quarterback play for Washington between Kyle Allen and Alex Smith or Dwayne Haskins. But honestly, if I was Washington, I'd throw out Dwayne Haskins, at least get another view of him, see if he's progressing this season, kind of while he's just been riding the bench. Because if you're going to move on to another quarterback, you at least want to showcase him to other teams. But for sure, Detroit this game.
Nicholas?
Yeah, I'm taking Detroit to win and cover 2 just off quarterback play alone. Alex Smith, Haskins, whoever they decide to trot out there, is inferior to Stafford. So I'm taking Lions to win and cover.
I mean, I'm just I thought Kyle Allen was at least looking solid. Like if Kyle Allen was in this game, I would entertain the possibility of the football team. But
really,
no. Next,
that Detroit defense is pretty good, coached up by Mr. Patricia himself.
So good that they gave up 34 points to Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook.
They weren't ready.
All right, Houston at Cleveland. Cleveland favored by 3. Nicholas, you want to take this? Nick Chubb is returning this game. I don't know how good he'll be, which is why I said he'll be at half mast. Nicholas, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to take Browns to win and cover here just because the Texans' run D continues to be awful. So I think even if Chubb isn't at 100%, that'll be enough to get him over and get the win. So I'm taking Browns to win and cover here.
How did James Robinson look last week?
I didn't get to watch the game.
I remember like he would flash on red zone. Like actually, I do remember one play where like James Robinson, like he had like a pretty big touchdown, like 25 yards, and he just ran through the Texans D. So, and also they made Jake Ludden look like pretty solid. That's just not good at all. Riley?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to, but I'm probably going to side with Nicholas here. Cleveland again. I when you watch this Houston team, you just expect more. I mean, I don't know. Ever since they made a certain trade over the offseason, they're just not looking that great. I think Deshaun, he didn't get outplayed by Lutton, but you would have expected him to look far superior than Lutton, and that just wasn't the case. Lutton looked pretty good. It's not like one defense was that much better than the other. So,
yeah,
he's just another kind of
it is like
just enough, kind of like just enough. So I'm gonna roll with Cleveland here -3.
I'm going Cleveland -3 as well, and then also like Houston's 1-7 against the spread. They could be a just very bad team. I think they had an early win against the spread, so that's why they didn't go on like that complete winless streak. But whenever you're like that bad, it definitely warrants some questions. Plus, like Cleveland has more to play for right now, and then also we're going to talk even more about the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jake Ludden as they take on the Packers. Packers favored by 13.5 at home. I also forgot that I'm really bad at forgetting these Thursday night games. But they've also just been like kind of unmemorable. Green Bay did look insanely good against the 49ers. For this game, I think it's going to be. I feel like Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in general, they play a little bit down to their competition. Whenever you play like a really bad team like this, but like the Jags, they still fight. They're not as bad as, like put in like the Giants or the Redskins. I'd take Green Bay here minus 13.5. But putting in Jacksonville, a little feisty team, I'll take them plus 13.5, but Green Bay to win.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Jacksonville plus 13.5. And I think they're going to have a lead in the fourth quarter, but just blow it in the last few minutes. I think Green Bay's riding high right now, but Lutton's going to kind of surprise them. They're not going to be expected for a great Lutton performance, and that's what they're going to get. I think Jacksonville's going to move the ball with ease against this defense, and it's going to be a little bit of a shootout. They're going to have a lead in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter. Aaron Rodgers is going to make a play that Lutton won't be able to, and they'll ultimately secure a 3-point win.
Yeah, I got Green Bay winning and covering. This is going to be a dismantling. I'm confident that Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for at least 3-4 touchdowns minimum. Nope. This is an easy Green Bay win and cover.
There's just not enough tape out on Lutton. There's just not. That he's like a pitcher in the MLB. You bring him up from the farm system, just kind of hastily, and nobody really knows about him. And he'll put up a couple decent performances before he gets found out. Because, like, to be honest, I never heard of Jake Lutton, and that's because he played at Oregon State. Like, nobody was probably even looking at him, like in draft stuff. So they have no intel whatsoever.
When is Minshew supposed to come back? He's gonna ultimately wrangle the starting job from him for the rest of the season, you think?
I think Minshew was kind of like benched. I think it was disguised. Was it disguised as an injury? I think
he had like a hand fracture, I believe.
Yeah. Also, I asked the question: how many games does Doug Marrone have left? Like, if it does go to like how Nicholas said it would, do you fire him after this game, or do you wait? Do you just like hold him until the end of the season? Just have
at this point.
Lose?
Yeah, at this point, I just have him lose. I'd hold on to him. There's no point. Like, what are you going to gain from firing him in the final 7 games?
That's true. He probably knows he's a dead man walking. So,
oh, for sure.
Next, Philadelphia minus 3.5 at the New York Giants. This is a big NFC East matchup, even though that tie is like paying extreme dividends for the Eagles with how close everything is. Because technically, if they just like lost that game, they would be tied with the Reds or with the Washington football team for the lead in the NFC. So the tie, massive. We actually should give Doug Peterson enough credit and retract our statement. So important
what
to
statement?
note.
Wait, what statement?
You remember how we were just ragging on Doug Peterson like after week 1, whenever he tied against the Bengals?
Yeah.
I think we should retract that because it's starting to pay off now.
Wentz had one bad game this season, but the rest of the time he's been kind of good, and Peterson has been letting him down. So I'm not going to retract it.
Yeah. Also, Daniel Jones is undefeated against the Washington football team. He only has one other win in his entire career. I don't know who it's against, but he's like, that's his only 3 wins have come, or like he's had 4 wins in his career. 3 of them have came against the Giants or against the Washington football team. So, Nicholas, what do you think? Because I'm taking Philadelphia minus 3.5 here.
I'm taking the Eagles to win, but the Giants to cover, just because these are both pretty bad teams, and Eagles always find a way to keep it close. Whether that's bad team, good team, they find a way to keep it close, and I think that'll be the case here, but they'll pull away with a win.
Brendan, you want Riley? Go ahead and let him talk.
Here, let me move the mic to disconnect my AirPods. All right, we'll let you talk on this one game, and then
yeah, and then you gotta leave, bud, because you still won't pay me $50.
It's Trump hasn't conceded the election. I have Philadelphia covering and winning.
Wow,
that's kind of what you expect. All right,
wow.
Can I get my AirPods and close my door?
Okay, so
I didn't hear what you did. Who did you pick for that game?
So
or have you got?
So I took Philadelphia minus 3.5. Nicholas took the Giants plus 3.5, but to lose.
You know what I say? I say Carson Wentz, when his back is against the wall, that's when he plays the best. Do I not? Last time we saw him on that field, back was kind of against the wall, against the Cowboys, right? Got a dub.
Well, wasn't that the game that Dak Prescott broke his leg?
No, that was earlier in the season. Remember? It was Wentz versus Dinwiddie or some, I forget what his name is, but DiNucci. This game, Carson Wentz is not against the wall, so I think he's going to falter a little bit. I got the Giants winning here. I think they're going to go on a little streak here. Danny Dimes, rated as the second best deep ball in the NFL right now. Surprisingly, it is. You can look it up. Second best deep ball behind Dak Prescott.
Wait, what? No. What kind of, no, I don't believe this. This is a BS metric.
It's not. And I got the Giants winning here. Easily.
What metric is this, Riley?
I'll find it. I saw it earlier. I'll have to go back and find it somewhere. Second best deep ball in the game right now.
Whatever. I'll save my reservations for later. Tampa Bay got smoked, absolutely smoked against the Saints. Just like, ugh. And then Carolina, they're pretty feisty against the Chiefs. It's a tale of two teams, because the Panthers kind of have like a moral win, and the Bucs are like that. That's a pretty devastating loss. I think there will be like there's probably players only meetings happening in Tampa Bay right now, where they're just like talking it out. I think if you lose that badly in prime time I know New Orleans is good, but like that's your main competitor in the division. You have to have a players only meeting. You have to. This isn't something that Bruce Arians fixes. This is something that Tom Brady fixes. So for that reason, the hypothetical or assumed players only meeting, I'm taking Tampa Bay minus 5.5. They come back resilient this week.
Okay. Well, I don't know about the player meetings, but I think it's pretty safe to assume Tampa Bay is going to have a bounce back game. You don't expect Tom Brady and that caliber of offense and offensive talent to come out and play that bad. But I think we're overlooking something here. First game with Antonio Brown, and look what that offense does.
I agree.
I got Tampa Bay winning, but not covering. I got Carolina covering this game. Carolina actually did look pretty good last week against the Chiefs. I think they definitely can keep up and stop this Tampa Bay team. But I think there's something going on in that locker room other than those meetings about that offense. I think there's something else in that locker room happening the past couple of weeks. It's Antonio Brown.
Now, granted, Carolina did make it look a little bit closer than it was against the Chiefs, but like it was still like a competitive game through and through.
They held their own. I mean, obviously, the loss of McCaffrey again is going to hurt, but
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I think they'll keep it kind of close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this one being a fun shootout that Tampa Bay comes away with the win. So I'm going to take Tampa Bay to win, but Carolina to cover here.
I mean, I just don't know about Antonio Brown and like that was just like a really bad decision. Even if let's say he puts up like 100 yards, 2 touchdowns this upcoming week, like how long does that still last? And like you're at the risk of pissing off like literally everybody in the organization, because Arians is not as clever and conceited as Bill Belichick is. Like he will go out to the media and he'll complain about it, and he doesn't know how to handle Tom Brady and like TB12 and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm just a little bit skeptical about everything. Our first, let me just say, the 4 o'clock slate, it's pretty solid this week. 1 o'clock slate is okay. This slate, it's pretty awesome.
Just to interject real quick, I posted the link below that confirms that Daniel Jones does actually have the second best deep ball arm so far this season. No. If you look into the chat, you can see it leads to a link that leads to PFF.
All right. We'll make sure to link it in the video down below, just so that everybody can see.
Just for context, if you don't see it, the top 5 best pass, the tweet says best passer ratings on deep ball passes, minimum 15 attempts. 1, Dak Prescott. 2, our boy Danny Dimes. 3, Drew Brees. He must be at that 15 because he doesn't throw a deep ball. He only throws checkdowns really. 4, Derek Carr. And 5, Aaron Rodgers.
All right, whatever. Okay, I'm taking Las Vegas -5 here. Denver looked awful last week against like a bad Falcons team. Las Vegas is a solid football team, and they're going to win this game because they win games that they're supposed to. They lose games that they're supposed to.
Yeah. I'm probably going to roll Las Vegas here too. I'll take Las Vegas to win, Denver to cover, just because I think Denver's going to be down 14-17 in the fourth quarter and then find their way to claw back and make it one possession game like they always do. They can only beat the Chargers because the Chargers are much worse, but Las Vegas will be able to hold on. Las Vegas barely held on against the Chargers last week. So it was kind of weird how that happens, but I think definitely Las Vegas is going to win, but Denver will cover.
Nichols?
I'm going to take Las Vegas to win and cover here. I'm just confident that they're the better football team and they'll keep up their playoff hunt.
What do you think about Derek Carr, Nicholas?
Seems to be playing well. I didn't get to watch a lot of football Sunday, but he seems to be doing pretty good.
All right, next game. Oh, unfortunately, you didn't get to see a lot of football this weekend, huh? But you're still able to talk a little bit about Russell Wilson, just a tad, whenever he was doing well. What about? Did you at least watch the highlights of the Buffalo-Seattle game?
No.
Oh, that's a damn shame, Nicholas. That is a damn shame. Oh. Well, Russell Wilson solidified that he is not an MVP candidate. He just looked absolutely atrocious against this Buffalo defense, which, I mean, they're a solid defense. They're not great. Josh Allen looks amazing. He just looked amazing. Now I'm not going to say that Josh Allen is the MVP. I'm not going to say that. But But
you shouldn't say that because he's not.
Yeah. But he outperformed Russell Wilson, and Nicholas is all of a sudden very quiet. He's very silent. Just Nicholas, what's your thought on this game? I'm gonna ride with Josh Allen, Buffalo plus 1.5 and the win. What's your thought? What's your thoughts?
I'm gonna take the Bills to win and to cover here. Games like what Wilson had really hurt their MVP run. Combined his game against the Bills with the game against the Cardinals, I think it's safe to say that making a case for MVP is really damaging at this point. I don't think he'll get it. I don't think Allen will get it either, just because he's also had some rough games. But these are still two quarterbacks playing at a high level. But I'm going to take Buffalo. When I say two QBs at a high level, I meant Wilson and Allen. But for this matchup, Kyler's been playing really well, but I don't think their defense is going to be able to stop Allen. So I'm going to take Buffalo to win and to cover.
Not so fast, my friend. This Arizona team, they're stumbling right now. They're desperate for a win. And you know how I love when teams have their back against the wall. Arizona has a chance to really take over the division. They got to win this team. They win this game, and it's for sure cemented that they are the team to beat in this division. So I think Arizona's going to kind of dominate this game for 4 quarters. I think it's going to be a 10-point win for Arizona. I think Josh Allen's going to do some, not a lot, in this game to kind of keep it close. I think it's mostly just going to be the Kyler Murray show. I think Kyler's going to show why he definitely went number 1 overall, leading already one of the best, if not the best, offense in football right now. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of the Buffalo-Seattle game, but, I mean, can you really credit Josh Allen for doing a ton against that defense? Seattle's defense is
Seattle's defense is like piss poor. But that game was a lot close. Like, it was kind of like a 2-3 score game the whole time, like 2 touchdowns. To me, Buffalo just looked like insanely good against a good team, which is like what they've been searching for, because they lost against the Bills, or they lost against the Titans, they lost against the Chiefs. I believe they lost against the Steelers. Am I right on that? I don't know, but they've been searching for a quality win. And this was their quality win. So now they take on Arizona. I don't know. I just don't feel. I don't know how Arizona's favored by 1.5 here, to be honest.
Well, Seattle, to me, I don't think Seattle's a full-on contender. I think they beat up on a lot of mediocre to bad teams, and that's just the record looks a little bit more inflated than it really is. To get on the final point of this PowerPoint or this slide, is Josh Allen a top 5 quarterback? No, he's nowhere near being a top 5 quarterback. You even suggesting that
top 10? I think he's top 10. I think he's
probably
top
can
10.
Make a case he's probably like 10.
Wait, what?
Not really saying that much.
I mean, I think he's 10. I think he's at least top 10. I didn't say he's a top 10 or top 5 quarterback.
I'm not going to tell you.
I'm just asking the question. Do you think he's a top 5 quarterback?
No, but there's a case he's the best quarterback in the division. I mean, after last week, there's going to be a kind of a debate now.
Yeah.
I think Tua has a case for being the best quarterback in that division already. But we'll get on that. We'll get on that week or in the next play.
Let's see. Segue. Tua looking great last week. Like he didn't look. I mean, I was impressed. I was impressed, to be honest, and like he doesn't even have that great of weapons around him.
Okay.
What are you thinking, Riley?
Miami's weapons? I think his weapons are okay.
I mean, they're okay. They're not fantastic.
He's solid.
Just imagine if he had Dallas's weapons. Well, Nicholas, what do you think about this game? Chargers versus Miami.
I'm feeling Dolphins to win and cover here. just because Chargers are snake bitten. They always find a way to lose, and I think Miami is the superior coach team here.
Riley?
I agree wholeheartedly. I think Tua is going to win this game probably by double digits. I think the Chargers will get some points, but ultimately that defense is going to hold him down and be a little bit stronger against him than he's kind of seen in more recent weeks. I think Tua looked fantastic last week. He actually went head to head with Kyler Murray, and he actually, beat him. That was probably one of the best teams in football, or at least in the NFC. So I definitely think Tua has an opportunity here. And surprisingly, Miami's kind of in the playoff hunt, so they're definitely going to be playing harder than the Chargers will be. So I think Tua's going to come in there. I don't think he's going to necessarily outplay Herbert. I think he will, but I'm not saying he will, if that makes any sense. I think it's going to be pretty close, and I think ultimately Tua is just going to squeak out a win.
So I think this is going to be one of those games where the wrong guy wins, because whenever we look back at, like, we look at this game next year or 2 years from now, like, we'll have the arguments between, well, who's better, Tua, Herbert, or Burrow, and Justin Herbert will win this game, and they're going to go back and say, well, Justin Herbert beat Tua straight up. Like, that should prove it. I think this is going to be one of those games. I'm going to take the Chargers plus 2.5 and the win. Once again, just feeling, but I mean, feeling led me to 13-1 last week. So, that's just how I'm thinking.
You want to do a double guarantee on that game?
You know what? I'll do a double guarantee on it. Let's do a double guarantee. I'll take the Chargers to win because I haven't guaranteed them to win.
I don't know if I might have picked Miami earlier this season, but I don't remember. So I'm going to roll with Miami to beat that team. I think the viewers will have to give me an excuse on that one because it's not a guarantee, but I'm pretty certain. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh now.
Yep, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. This game is going to change drastically because Big Ben was put on the COVID list, or he has a lot of injuries just stacking up right now. It's very, very weird. But the line has shifted from like 10.5 to 7.5. So I'm just going to go with the going assumption that Big Ben is not playing this week. And I'm going to take Cincinnati plus 7.5 and a win as well. Because I think who's their backup quarterback? Is it still Mason Rudolph? Or is it
Josh Dobbs? Or I want to say Landry Jones, but I know he was there like 4 or 5 years ago. Let me look.
Yeah, I think this is it.
Or is it Duck Hodgins again?
They can't do Duck Hodges again. He has to be like their practice squad quarterback. I think
it's Mason Rudolph. It's Mason Rudolph, according to the Steelers website.
Yeah. I still don't like Mason Rudolph, to be honest. Yeah, I'm taking Cincinnati plus 7.5 and the win.
Nicholas, you want to go? Or you want me to go?
I'll go. I'll take Steelers to win here, but Cincy to cover. I think Steelers are the better coach team, and they just find ways to win. So I think Cincy definitely has a good opportunity to keep it close here, but I'm going to take Steelers to come away with a win.
All right. All season, I've been harping on Pittsburgh not being a good team.
Is this going to be? Oh my god!
All season.
Oh my god!
Week by week, I've said that this Pittsburgh team is not very good, and I've always picked against them. It's the more and more that time goes on, the more and more I get convinced that they are not a good team.
There we go.
There we go. They are not a good team. They are inflated. I mean, they barely squeaked by that Dallas team. I think
they did.
I think they've won a lot of games that they shouldn't have won just by pure luck. And I think that Cincinnati is going to win this game by 10.
Whoa.
2 scores. 2 scores.
Hey, I'll drive to Tennessee and shift the odds right now just to see. But oh my, yeah, I thought you were finally gonna go against. I thought you were gonna go against Cincinnati there. I was a little bit worried, but if this was going to be the one game that you actually went against Cincinnati, yeah, all right. Well, we're all kind of in agreement. There, Seattle at Los Angeles, NFC West matchup. Crucial. Rams favored by 1.5. Rams came off of a bye. Russell Wilson didn't. He threw a couple interceptions last week. I think this is going to be time for a bounce back game for Seattle. I'm going to take them plus 1.5 and a win. I think this is going to be this should be America's game of the week. I don't know.
Is Dallas not playing this week?
No, Dallas is not playing this week, thankfully.
It should be.
What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and flip the switch. I'm going to say the Rams here. Last week, Russ didn't look that great. I think him putting up 34 points against the Bills is still pretty impressive, but if Josh Allen and that offense can put up 44, what do you think this Rams defense or offense can do? I think they probably could put up 50 if they wanted to. So I'm going to roll with the Rams here, especially coming off a bye. They're going to be a little bit more healthy. They're going to be juiced. They're going to be ready to go. So I'm going to take the Rams here by 7.
Yeah, I'm taking Seattle to win and cover here.
Of course you will.
Russell Wilson, that's it.
Nicholas,
that's it. Just Russell Wilson.
Just Russell Wilson. That's it. Would you like?
You haven't been finding any of your points today, Nicholas.
Yeah, you've been very short with all of your points. What's got you down, buddy?
I'm just sharing.
3 and 11. Is that what got you down?
I'm just sharing what I have to say.
He wants a shoulder rub.
He'll
be up next week once he hits that 7-7 mark.
Yeah. His mood will be lifted. You noticed that he wasn't talking about anything in our Xbox Live parties. He wasn't talking about it, but whatever. We'll let him sulk for right now. He can sulk. He can be a sad boy. San Francisco at New Orleans. Was this a playoff matchup last year? No.
New Orleans always gets beat by the Vikings.
Yeah,
they always lose to the Vikings.
Oh well. Saints looked at like you had 2 teams that played in prime time. San Francisco gets the long week, but they got blown out. New Orleans has a shorter week, but they do the blowing out. I think San Francisco is still extremely depleted. I'm going to take New Orleans here. And I think Michael Thomas, just like I asked the question, how much of a factor does he really play? But like he opens up that offense so much more. It's just like the presence of him on that field, it helps. It's kind of like how the Falcons treat Julio, where even if he's just like he's just good as a decoy, even if he's not like that great. I think Michael Thomas is kind of the same way. You have a top 5 wide receiver out there, and it just makes your offense instantly better.
Sadly, I'm probably going to have to agree with you. I think an earlier prediction from Nicholas this season when he said Nick Mullins was going to take the starting job, it's not come to fruition. It's not coming to fruition. It's never going to come to fruition. Mullins probably shouldn't be seeing a football field anytime soon, but sadly, we're all going to have to endure and watch him play some more football.
Yeah.
I think Mullins is probably going to whip him up pretty good. I don't think it's going to be 38-3, but I think it'll probably be something more along the lines of like 34-17, 31-14, or 31, maybe 21 if San Francisco, Nick Mullen gets a little lucky. But there's just not much to look at San Francisco currently in their current state on the injuries along the running back core, and think they're going to have an opportunity to win this game or even have it close.
Yeah, my take of Nick Mullins being one of the better, if not the best, backup quarterback in the league. It's gone cold. It's gone very cold. So I apologize for that. But I don't know who the best backup quarterback is. I really don't. Because there's not a lot that are good. Maybe Jameis. He had a nice little fullback flat.
Schaub, Lutton.
Well, Lutton's a starter now. I don't.
Well, he was a backup.
I feel like you don't even count those Jacksonville quarterbacks. But Nicholas, what do you think about this game?
Taking Saints to win and cover here. Like Riley said, I don't think it's going to be the 38-3 drubbing that they dished out to the Bucs, but I am confident that they can win by at least more than one possession.
Yeah. Next game, Sunday night. I just made a little quip at the bottom. This game would have sounded a lot better in week 1 than week 10. Because right now it's not that great, but let's just talk about New England and like the Monday night game specifically, since the Jets are on a bye week this week. Let's just talk about Joe Flacco here. Let's just, you know what? Actually, we were questioning who are the best backup quarterbacks in the league. Joe Flacco is the best backup quarterback in the league. Joe. That is just, it's not even a question.
Actually, I thought of the best backup now. It's definitely Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Flacco is the second best backup in the league. He's in the top 5. He's an elite backup quarterback. I mean, he is elite. Yeah, New England just looked, they made Joe Flacco look extremely good. They made the Jets offense look extremely good. And they kind of just got helped by the fact that the coaching staff of the Jets are just complete idiots. And they're having Joe Flacco throw deep in the fourth quarter with a lead.
Oh my gosh, they're not making him. He threw it deep and he threw a pick because it was a horrible pass.
No, buddy,
they didn't stand there, hold his hand and tell him.
Adam Gase offense.
They did not stand there, hold his hand and tell him, I want you to throw this deep into double coverage and overthrow him by 3 yards for it to be picked. They did not tell him that.
He was just trying to put it where only the receiver could get it.
You are untruthful. You are lying.
He was just trying to
There was a better quarterback in that game, and it was sadly Cam Newton. Cam Newton outplayed him, especially in that fourth quarter.
No. I mean, look.
And getting out of this game, I think. Here, let me get out of this game real quick, because I'm done talking about Flacco. Because Flacco's a nobody. No matter how much you're going to push MVP. It, and look how many wins he has with the Jets right now, 0. Getting out of this game, I think Cam and these Patriots, our backs are against the wall. I think they have an opportunity to win this game. I really, truly do. And I think New England is going to squeak out.
What? Shit.
Here we go.
Coming back.
All right, we're back. It's fine.
We got cut off. At what part did we get cut off?
It says it's still recording, so we'll just go.
I know, but did you hear my prediction?
No, I did not.
Okay. Well, I give a very passionate speech about how I thought Cam Newton was going to lead this team to a very, 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 very close loss with Justin Tucker banking in a field goal at the last second. Like I said, I was saying earlier, I'll have to say it again. I'm going to lean on Bill Belichick and Cam Newton keeping this game close. I don't think he's a good quarterback by any means, but he's going to try and keep this one close. Baltimore, big disappointment. You'd think by the way they're playing, they lost in the Super Bowl and had like a Super Bowl down year, but they didn't even make it that far. So they really have no excuse for playing as poor as they are. But yeah, I'm going to roll with Baltimore winning, but New England covering.
Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens to win and cover here.
Any reason why?
Cam sucks.
Well, thank you for the insight. I will tell you why I also think that the Ravens will win and cover. I mean, ultimately, I still think Baltimore is pretty fraudulent, but they also beat a fraudulent team last week in the Colts. So, I mean, I just don't think the Ravens are like that great of a team. I think they're going to get exposed in the playoffs. I think they're like a Houston Rockets. That's my opinion.
Who is
the Ravens? I think they're like the Houston Rockets.
I mean, it's too early to say. If they have another pretty disappointing playoff run where they don't really show up, then you could probably make the case.
I think they're going to have another disappointing playoff run though. Like that's why. It's just there's not a lot of positives for this team.
I mean, we all know that the AFC is going to be Patrick Mahomes for years to come. So
yeah. Oh, I was watching I'd get up briefly on my television. I think Tuesday morning, and Mike Greenberg said that they should change he proposed this rule. He said the MVP award should be changed or renamed to the Patrick Mahomes Award.
Who said that?
Mike Greenberg on ESPN. Get up. So, just good stuff all around there. I'm glad that we're a more reputable network than they are, Hades.
I mean, he's definitely going to win a lot of awards, but as he progresses and gets older, I'm not going to get too far into this conversation, but I think some of his arm talent might die down a little bit, some of his mobility. So I think he's still going to be a top 5 quarterback, top 10 quarterback, but I don't know how he's going to age. We'll see.
Yeah.
He's got his money made for him already.
Yep. Last game. It is Minnesota favored by 2.5 at Chicago. Big NFC North matchup. I was looking at the playoff standings a little bit before this. Whoever wins this game is probably going to get the number 7 spot and play whoever, probably an NFC West team or the Saints. So, I mean,
wait, what?
They'll play the number 2 team, which will be the Saints or what?
How would they be the number 7? Wouldn't
There's 7
imagine?
Playoff spots.
Right, but that's 3 wild card, correct? So wouldn't 2 of the West and then one of the Saints of the Bucks make it? Wouldn't that be more favorited to make it over one of these 2 teams?
I'm thinking that the NFC West will cannibalize itself. I'm thinking that, and then whoever wins this game goes on a little bit of a run. I mean that I think that's why I said they could. They could. Not saying they will.
You're saying we're a very reputable news station or sports station.
I'm saying they could.
You say this bullshit?
I'm saying they could, and they could. So with that, I think Chicago, they've been featured in too many big time spots recently. I feel like their failures have really been publicized. But I'm going to take Chicago plus 2.5 and a win. I'm riding with Foles in a crucial spot to get the Bears to 6-4. Nicholas, what do you think?
I'm going to take the Vikings to win and cover here just because the Bears don't have an offense and the Vikings do. The Bears definitely have a good defense, but again, no offense to speak of. So Vikings to win and cover here.
Whatever happened to Allen Robinson getting traded? Like that just kind of.
Yeah, the coaching staff talked to him and they talked him off the ledge, and he said he was happy playing there. I think they probably told him they're going to feature him a little bit more. But as we can see, Nick Foles
he has
really
been
hasn't
there.
been the trick.
I was looking at their schedule and like game by game stuff, and he's been their leading wide receiver for the past 6 games. So
are we all on contingent that Nick Foles is like a less likable Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Yeah. I think
he'll do just enough. He'll do just enough to get a
Foles has a Super Bowl MVP that hurts most definitely because that makes him a little bit less likable.
Yeah, I think for this game, getting onto this game. Who is Foles still starting for Chicago?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely going to go with Minneapolis this game. Dalvin Cook has been tearing teams left and right. I think he's probably going to tear Chicago a new hole this game. I think, sadly, he's pretty good. I know one of our very loyal viewers, Nico. I won't reveal his last name on stream or on podcast, but Nico, he's told me before that he doesn't like Kirk Cousins, and I agree with him. But at the very least, they have a very, very potent weapon in Dalvin Cook. He's been averaging 200 yards the past 2 games, 2 or 3 touchdowns a game. It's just tough to roll with Chicago when their offense is in such disarray.
I'm okay with rolling with Chicago. Now, would I actually bet money on this game in Chicago's favor? No. I would stay away from this game with like a 20-foot pole. But just to get a little wild, just to get I think I still like Chicago plus 2.5. And it's also Kirk Cousins in primetime. He's not good in primetime, even though he has won a game this year in primetime.
Weren't we just talking about Chicago was horrible in primetime?
No. I'm saying like in big spots, like that close game with that game with the Saints, that wasn't primetime, but it was like
what about the one with the Rams?
Yeah.
Horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, but like it's more. That's like a whole team. Kirk Cousins, he is historically bad in primetime. You can look at the records. He's just not that great. But I was saying like the Bears are just like it's different in their spots because it seems like everybody just happens to watch their game and then they get made fun of on Twitter. It's not that they're specifically in primetime. There's in a 4:00 slot where their game lasts the longest, or it's on Fox. So, all right, well, yeah, that should be the last of the games. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure
guarantees of the week.
Oh yeah, guarantees of the week.
I think you and I already made ours, Kirby.
Yeah.
We bet
Los
against
Angeles,
each other.
Miami.
Yep.
Nicholas?
Let me look.
The Jets aren't playing this week, so you can't pick whoever's playing the Jets.
I'll guarantee the Vikings this week.
Oh.
Interesting. Very interesting. Nicholas.
He believes me more than he believes you, Kirby. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit. When he looks at me, he probably thinks, man, this man knows what he's talking about. He's probably the best this season so far against the spread, and straight up, I'm going to have to roll with whatever he says. Isn't that right, Nicholas?
No.
All right. Well, make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe, hit that, ring that bell, ring it. Nicholas, ring the bell, ring it.
Oh, and while we're on the subject, keep a lookout for our subscriber special coming up. We have some pretty great giveaways and gifts to give away and goodies and all that. They're coming soon. We just need a few more subscribers to activate it. So share it with all your friends.
50 subscriber special.
50 subscriber special. We're not going to say what it is, but it could start with an X.
Or a P.
Maybe. With a box.
Yep.
Or Asian.
Or 5.
Perhaps.
Never know.
They could. It could.
It could.
But we
could rhyme with sex. I don't know.
Okay, but I'm just saying we need 50 subscribers to activate the special. So just keep sharing and keep watching, everyone.
Yeah. Nicholas, give a smile. Show us your pearly whites. Show us your pearly whites, Nicholas.
He's decided not to this episode.
Are you going on a protest until you end up doing better in your picks? Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week.